board drive, it's more than surfboards. It's more than a board drive to us, you know? It's a human thing. So it means the world.
Please welcome to the stage Pat Gudauskas, Tanner Gudauskas, Dane Gudauskas, and Chris Dennis. Come on up, boys. And there's no assigned seating, wherever you feel comfortable. We can mix it up. I will start with the guy closest to me, which is Tanner Gudauskas. Tanner, give us a little insight on how you guys came up with the PVW, Positive Vibe Warriors Foundation, and what you aimed to do.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. Thank you for coming out tonight. I hope you guys liked the film. That was incredible. Chris, what you're doing there.
Put your hands together for Chris Dennis.
That was
This guy
rad.
Lives it.
And that, I think for us to see that, that's the dream. You know, like Positive Vibe Warriors Foundation is totally like a family thing. It's still literally just Pat, Dane, and I and our parents helping us. And we started it because we were running kids events in San Clemente, and we really wanted to empower the kids to get educated in the ocean and make it a fun experience. And so that started with giving back to the junior lifeguard programs there in San Clemente. And then over time, it started to grow, and we were traveling a lot and meeting so many incredible people throughout the world. And, you know, with the surfboard drives specifically, that came from a trip that we went down to Jamaica. And with the Wilmot family, we were just there, and those guys were surfing incredible. And the equipment, because of tariff taxes coming into that country, they couldn't get new surfboards. And so we were like, gosh, like we have this foundation. Is there any way we could work it? And they have the Jamaica Surf Association. So we started to kind of formulate that idea, like that we would just do another surf trip and bring a whole bunch of surfboards down. And then people really supported that project, and it started to grow from like, okay, we're taking 2 board bags each to like, okay, wow, we're gonna like literally wrap like 10 boards like each and then get it.
You're
in a
like at
shipping
the
container.
check-in counter, like, oh, this is one board.
This is changing quickly.
Charge us for one board.
Well, it was funny because actually to be honest, when we did the first board
those
drive,
airline guys, bro, they're like, oh, wait, what?
it was like when we did it, we opened it up for a month at surf retail shops, and the first week was like, oh, cool, we got like 5 boards. That's insane. Like, that's rad. Second week was doubled. Third week was doubled. And then by the 4th week, we literally was like, it was like 200 surfboards. Like, we were like, holy cow, this thing is changing. So, but yeah, and then we've kept growing the foundation in that sort of way. And to get connected with Chris, we've been friends with Chris for so long. And this is, this project, see it culminate and the stoke on the kids' faces in Trinidad was seriously so special. So, yeah.
And we'll have you pass it on to Patty G right there. Patty G is a nickname that he's assuming.
You coined it, didn't you?
Yeah. And that I've given him over the years.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome, by the way, because it's sticking.
I don't get many
Poncho,
nicknames. Tanner,
Poncho
get them all.
like just went in this past Vans Pro. Like I watched the replay, and it's so funny to see Poncho just like automatically go, yeah, Patty G's is ripping. Like he just didn't even skip a beat.
It was a subconscious.
So it's sticking, bro.
Sick, thank you.
And with this collaboration, I mean, you had your local community set up, but and Tanner gave a little insight of how it came like international, but for you, what was your kind of take on it all, and like where you guys could go from your local spot to spreading it around?
Yeah, it's you know, again, thank you to Chris. I mean, can we get a round of applause for Chris? That was amazing. Really, this project's about Chris, you know, and I think we've kind of been realizing it in the last few projects where we're like, we just feel like a conduit or like a vehicle to connect communities, you know, and really cool about this project in particular was that this is from the Northeast region, New Jersey, and the whole East Coast tour that collected the boards to be brought to Trinidad. And I myself, I've never been to Trinidad, and these guys have been several times with Chris, and I was like, so impressed with just the storytelling that these guys are bringing back of Chris, because I never had the opportunity to meet Chris in the origins of our experience. So we heard that he was our Trinidad brother, long lost brother, with Super Froth, and actually we share an airbrush. We got neon colors on our deck of our surfboards, and so it's been a really amazing experience to see that. I think with the platform that has been allowed for us over the years of surfing globally and locally was that we're able to come together and create opportunities for communities like Chris's, where now there's a flourishing community of surf that is going to give these kids incredible outlets, healthy, positive outlets, alternative to violence or drugs or whatever may be in that region. So. Yeah, I think that we're just really thankful. And, you were with us in Makaha before, and Chris got to come check out Makaha. His first days in Hawaii was
so
straight to the
awesome.
west side of Makaha with the Kanaka Solutions and everyone. And to us, that was such a special region. And to have Chris there, it was like this crazy synergy of all these worlds coming together around surfing. So, in my eyes, and I think in Dane and Tanner's as well, the future for the foundation and for what we're going to continue to, be passionate about is around surf and around communities and just connecting people. And I think that's what we're really proud of this film, and I think I can't wait to hear more from Chris because it is really special. I think the people that we've gotten to meet and be a part of. So I don't know if that covered the question.
No, it totally did.
Still got a nickname.
And I'm, to me, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just like shooting stuff out there, and you guys are totally taking soliloquies upon these and narratives and haikus.
Haiku.
Yeah. Hey, Dane. yeah. I'm just asking ambiguous questions, and you're filling in the blanks very well, and even throwing in some stuff that is news to us and very informative. So I appreciate that. Dane, did you ever expect this amount of support? And maybe that's a dumb question, but maybe like going into it, what was your lead in to get other guys involved, especially board builders? Because watching a guy shape a board, and we Tanner and I talked about it, whispering off script over there, was like, it's not like you're handing out baseballs and like footballs that are like just like, here's a kid, soccer balls, like go play. I mean, these are handcrafted wave riding vehicles that we're handing out. And how did you, maybe what were the expectations, if any, of these guys that come through? And I'm sure you weren't surprised, but also like just how touched were you with all of the work that went into it?
Oh, it was like, it was incredible. Each time we've activated these board drives, it's just been social media and putting up flyers at surf shops, which is
groundwork,
as organic and roots as it can get. And I think it's a true testament to the surfing community and us as surfers. We're all connected by the waves and the experience. And it made, like we said in the movie, like very proud to be a surfer, because you understand that there's so many people out there in the world that want to do good. You see so many things on the news and things that are troubling times for people. People are having difficult situations all over the world. But at the whole, there's people that want to help each other get through those hard times. And surfing is our language. As surfers, that's what we understand, the waves in the ocean. So, yeah, the surfing community rallying around, coming from the East Coast and the West Coast was awesome. This is our first time going to the East Coast, and it was special. Big shout out to Ross Howitt here in the house from VANS. He's been a true
Ross the boss.
Ross the boss has been the boss, and he's the man because he's been helping us really. He's been really instrumental in this thing, and VANS, I got to say, has been fantastic for supporting these initiatives and building these things out with us and just getting behind a cause. And it's an industry, surfing industry, and VANS has been so fantastic in supporting these causes and just people, and it just, like I said, I just felt so proud to be a surfer. You go to these shops, and I love surf shops because that's where surfers go. You go get your surf wax, and that's the stuff, I love
I
surf
start-
wax.
bro,
You can't
I-
surf without wax, and you can't get the wax on a surf shop.
I started picking up rubbish at Surf
That's
NC
the truth, though.
when I was a kid for like $2.
Yeah, but it's cool, man. It's surfing is very special, and it will always be that way to us. So this project and these board drives, whether it's Jamaica or Africa, all over the place, and Trinidad and Tobago or wherever comes in the future, it's just it's beautiful to see the fabric of the surfing community sewn together to support, to keep others warm and to help each other along the way. So,
Brother, you're just a verbal seamstress right there. Sewing the fabric and no, well said, my friend. No, and you're so right. It's an international language that speaks volumes. And Chris, of course, round of applause for Chris. Please,
Yeah, Chris.
ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for brother Chris. You know, I just met him like last weekend, and you know, in a car ride from North Shore to Makaha a couple of times. I mean, the exchanges have been so great, and now I've had a chance to see the full length of what you guys have been doing. And honestly, another thing I whispered to Tanner when we were watching is like, you're repairing surfboards and you're repairing fiberglass, but like ultimately what you're doing is like, and broken boards, whatever, you're repairing and fixing like broken hearts and broken people that are healed by what you're doing, Chris. So please just elaborate a little bit on what it means to serve your community like this, and also what surfing has been doing for you.
Well,
Your community. I'm sorry. Your
Thank
community.
you. Thank you. Thank you. First off, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. And yeah, this is super special for me personally. My first time to the North Shore. And I'd like to thank you guys, Pat and Dane and Tanner, and like to thank Ross and just everybody who's been a part of the project. I hope you guys like the film. And while it's a board drive and what you saw, probably I hope you saw would be, this film also represents hopes and dreams. And it also transcends into saying that just because you're born into poverty doesn't mean you are poverty. And I'm super appreciative, and it's been a real journey, and I'm just so humbled by everything.
Hey. We'll stick with you, Chris, and ask you. You know, this film was made last year, and all of the events that you're seeing have already occurred. But can you give us maybe a report of how things have been going recently, and what this has spurred for your community?
Well, it's a bit crowded now in the water, but it's good. It's good. With the board drive, obviously came a lot of responsibility. They say that there are two really important times in a human's life. One of them is when you're born, and the other is when that day comes when you realize what you were born to do. And for me personally, that day came a couple years ago, and the board drive just empowered a lot of us and a lot of people in not just one community, but a lot of community up and down the east coast and north coast of Trinidad, also Tobago, the other island. It's been amazing. It's been amazing. Now I'm the co-founder of an NGO called Waves for Hope, and we use surfing as a tool to give kids and youths in some of these communities tools to cope with stress. We use a lot of different activities that are therapeutically and scientifically proven to work. So it's growing, the sport is growing, and the board drive has obviously been a big motivator and a big factor in all of this. And I'm sure in a couple of years you'll probably see a couple of kids or youths from Trinidad in Hawaii here, maybe getting a bomb out at pipe or back door or something like that.
or maybe you, bro, like tomorrow.
Maybe.
Hey, yeah, bro. Don't worry, bro. We get the crew. We can get you out there. We can make sure you get the wave you like. I'll open this up to any one of the G boys. I know you guys started this as a way to give back to your local community, and then it kind of spread abroad internationally. But I also know that it wasn't meant for you guys to keep carrying the torch or to keep doing what you do, but it was also to spread the inspiration of others to get involved. So maybe, Dane, you can tell us what the future holds for you guys and spawning off to do other projects too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're right on the money there. I think there's so many empowered like members in the community like Chris in Trinidad in these countries that are facing severe issues in their communities and are passionate about surfing. And so our goal is to support those people like Billy Mystic in Jamaica, Waves for Change, Surfers Not Street Children, South Africa, and all around the countries there. We can only go so far in our reach, and it's all about facilitating those that have the empowerment in their communities, that are activating on the ground every single day, living up with that passion to be their best. And if we can do that, then we'll have succeeded in our goal. So like Pat said earlier, our main role is a facilitation of people achieving their dreams of what they want to do. Like Chris, they were struggling for boards in 2010 in that issue, and to see boards go to their house and to that community where they need it, that's the end goal. For us, starting with San Clemente, we just feel so passionate about the ocean. It's given us so much good energy, and we've seen such positive effects from the ocean, and we just want to share it with the world. And we really want to empower people like Chris and others in the communities that they have that are really facing hard times to know that we're backing them and to know that we're supporting them. And if they need help, we're here to give it to them. So that's the name of the game. I mean, Taryn could probably add to that.
Is this live? Are we on? Here we go. I was just going to add, because in the movie you can tell there's one night where Chris is giving an interview and he's got his notebook and he's talking about the surfers of Trinidad, and he's saying, I've got them all written down. But that's not really an exaggeration. He actually literally had every surfer on the island of Trinidad written down.
It may have been till 4 a.m.
Powerful,
It was insane. And two, we were like, he's like, okay, no, this guy's he's intermediate and above, and he's about 120 pounds. And we'd hold up, Dane and I would hold up a board and be like, is it a 6'2" Rusty? Is it a 6'4" Shopper?
No.
And he'd be like, no. And we were there till 1 a.m, literally just organizing the boards.
Tailoring it.
It was
For
genius.
sure.
And then we got to load up the trucks that next day, and we had 30 packs of boards in the back of the trucks, and it was so grassroots and so cool, and it would never have happened if it wasn't for Chris, because you would just go to the beach where everybody would go, and there'd be 20 or 30 people there just hanging, having a beach day. And then, boom, here comes Santa Claus, Chris Dennis with boards, yo, should we do it? And you can see in a lot of the clips, the kids were so excited that they just grabbed the boards, didn't even put fins in it, didn't matter, and they would just go in the water.
I saw one clip. It was
so cool.
Charging.
It was so pure, and to have the exchange back that they were cooking us food at a couple of the beaches, it was really cool. I personally getting to be involved on that experience of those days, and what Chris does for his community. I think for us, that is the dream. I think what Dane's saying is our reach is to a certain aspect with the community, I think, of surfing and getting the boards, but it's really just empowering and celebrating guys like Chris, who, I don't know, I can't even think about knowing every surfer that surfs T Street Beach, where I kind of live. And he's on every surfer on the island of Trinidad. It's pretty legendary. So yeah, big thanks to Chris.
Hey, just to circle back here and let us know, Chris, Waves for Hope. How can some of our folks here and some of our folks watching on the TV version, how can they get involved with Waves for Hope? Tell us how.
Well, Waves for Hope, you can Google, obviously, Waves for Hope, and you'll come over our website. But you can also go to my Instagram profile, Chris_Dennis_1, and you will see ways on there on how to get involved. We currently, we do like 24 youths at a time from different communities, and we have a huge wait list at the moment. And the program...
A wait list because you need providers to get with you, or why is there a wait list?
A wait list of youths because we're still...
You're maxed out.
Yeah.
So if like I wanted to come there and be, volunteer or something, and we could get a couple more kids involved, that would help, right?
100%.
Oh, bruh.
You're invited.
Honey, guess where we're going?
But anyways, the program runs for between 6 to 8 months, and it's kind of like school. We have a curriculum that they go through, and at the end of the curriculum, they graduate, and they graduate into a club format. And the club format includes obviously surfing, skateboarding, art, music, and I've kind of been known as a dreamer, and one of my biggest dreams with this is to have a scholarship fund, because a lot of the kids, they are super bright, super smart, and they might not necessarily have support, financially in the homes or in the community. And if we can provide that, that would be a dream come true as well.
Thank you, Chris. Hey, and then, so that is the way you can get involved with Waves for Hope, with direct at ChrisDennis_1 on the Instagram. If, speaking for the Positive Vibe Warriors, G-Boys, how can people get in touch with you guys in case they want to follow or, kind of ride on it and see what you guys are doing next? Tell us how they can get in touch with you.
I think it's available on Instagram.
Yeah, he turned
Instagram,
it off
you
on
can check it out.
purpose.
Patty knows.
We keep turning it off in between. Yeah, I mean, it's the same style. I mean, the Instagram is the biggest kind of voice that we have right now. Positive Vibe Warriors on Instagram. Also, we have a website, thepositivevibewarriorsfoundation.com. And it's the same style. I think you can get involved in many different ways. The board drives will continue in the future, and we kind of voice all those activations through those two channels. And yeah, I mean, I guess we do have a lot of volunteers, which is amazing. And anyone who wants to volunteer, you can reach us on the email address there. And if we're in your local community,
and just hit us up. Like, I don't know.
We're kind of walking
just say
around
hi.
a lot,
We're
so
not too
keep
hard
it simple.
to
we don't
approach.
We're techno dinosaurs.
I didn't like put too much pressure on you guys. I was just like,
we
I
haven't
was
even thought
like,
that far ahead. No, it's yeah, we just keep it simple. That's kind of it,
No,
see
you
us,
guys do keep
ask
it
us.
simple. And on a final note, I remember when the Gudauskas brothers started coming over here to compete, and I was also kind of brought under the, where you went? He was over here. Brother Kimo is hugely instrumental in making all of this happen, especially here in Hawaii. And he's not a guy who says aloha has to look a certain way or be a certain way. And I think he really stamped that with you guys. And it was just all about like, bruh, these boys have goodness in their heart. They have, a giving personality among three of them and as a family. And that is how, we've come here to be. So, Brother Kimo, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Gudauskas
Kimo!
brothers,
Thank you, Uncle.
thank you very
Where is
much.
he?
Brother Chris, thank
Yeah,
you
Chris.
very much.
And Bubba. Bubba's a little brother.
Yeah.
Bubba Leong Radio, thank you very much. And to all of you, thank you so much for joining us on this very special Talk Story edition here at Surf at the Bar at Turtle Bay Resort. And if you enjoyed what you've seen, let me hear you give a round of applause for all of these individuals. They will be available to talk story afterwards. Enjoy, hang out, and we'll continue to enjoy each other's company. With that, my name is Rocky Cannon. I'll see you guys at the Hawaiian Pro and everywhere else in between. I'm an NSOG, so anytime you see me, say, how's it? Mahalo and aloha.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rocky.
Thank you.